utilize it, right? So a lot of my work is around using technology to organize our information and resources, right? First and foremost, so we can organize our information so we know what it is. And secondly, so that we can define information as resources or not, right? So you can begin to utilize it. And so there's some ways and some approaches I use to help people make these decisions a little faster around how they're going to organize their information and resources, right? This is called Technorganizing. It was actually defined here in Alaska. The term was defined here by George Martinez on one of our trips up, right? So you guys can feel proud, especially if you're from here, because the term originates from here. And we're going to look at a description of Technorganizing. And I'm going to tell you that if you ever want to know a lot more about Technorganizing and what it means and what it represents and some tools you can gain access to, you're going to go to my website. And that website is rolandobrown.com. And you're going to look for a little keyword that says Technorganizing, right? I'm going to give you a quick overview of Technorganizing, though. This way, it most likely take the workshop and make more sense to you. So there are 5 approaches I consider the online success, right? This is the way to get you to be successful in utilizing online tools. The first thing is to strategize top line before growing. Right? So everyone who's been a part of my workshops before, anyone who's been a part of my workshop before, please raise your hand. So if you've been a part of my workshops before, you understand this concept. The concept, for those of you who doesn't, is empower yourself to be able to think about things top line before you make any significant, deep decisions. All right? And so what's an example of that? Strategizing top line. Thinking before you do. Thinking before you act. All right? Planning before you work. All right? These are all examples of thinking top line before you go deep. And this is a tool that, an approach rather, that will increase your productivity because you will actually know what you are doing before you do it, right? There are tools that can help with that though. And so one of those tools is a tool I call NetVibes. And NetVibes is very similar to Google homepage, or any of these ideas of the homepage, right? The homepage. We all have computers? No? That's okay. If you don't have computers, just tell me. So I can change my conversation specifically for you. Who doesn't have a computer? Okay. So, do you have access to one regularly? All right, great. So you have regular access to a computer is the length, right? If you have regular access to a computer, you have your desktop. And your desktop and your computer is how you access everything, right? The desktop is what gives you an ability to access all of the things you're looking for, right? Well, a home page is the same thing, right? It gives you the ability to online access all of the things you're looking for. And NetVibes is the home page solution that I use because it allows me to think top line about all of the information and resources I have online before I go deep into any of them. What does that mean? Well, on my home page, right, I have a section called Business and Technology. And what I do is I feed into one place all the different business and technology news services that I read. Why do I do that? I do that so I can think about the top line before I go deep into it, right? So I can read pieces of them before I actually go into the blogs. So I don't waste my time reading something I don't want to read, right? I think top line in order to prioritize. And this is an important thing when you're online, because many of us don't prioritize our work online. Many of us wake up in the morning and check our email, right? Or we go into our email and the email defines what we do online, right? Email is the very first thing we look at. And this is powerful because you're checking your email. That's great because some people don't even check their email, right? But what you want to do is you want to give yourself a tool that can help you think more top line than just your email. Because you visit websites every day, right? You visit Facebook, you visit MySpace, you visit all these places. And you should be able to define before you go into these things what you're going to do with them. This gives you more control of your time. And so thinking about things top line is important. The second is this idea that everything need not be addressed. Something's only meant to be noted, right? And what that basically means is we waste a lot of our time addressing things online that don't need to be addressed. All right? So we get lost a lot. And you end up doing things you didn't plan to do. You realize that? You're just kind of online and you're doing a whole bunch of things. It's not what you really plan to do. You got snatched them back. Well, this is the whole idea of addressing things that don't need to be addressed. The way to avoid that is by creating indicators. Right? Indicators are little tools you can do to indicate what's actually happening. Right? So an indicator is something like this. see here how it says 112? 112 means I have 112 pieces of content that I have not read in this space. This is an indicator that allows me to address what needs to be addressed, right? And not address what doesn't. And so, for example, if in my mind's priority to read all my business and technology news, I gotta get to work, right? I gotta start getting to work because there's 112 pieces, but within this, there's 5 pieces here, there's 25 pieces here, there's 30 pieces here. And so if I start to prioritize myself, I'm probably gonna go with the things that I can take care of quickest and or the things that need to be addressed. So if there's 30 pieces of content, let me deal with this, because this is the most information. If you're the kind of person that just needs to get things done, then you're probably gonna wanna deal with this first, because it's only 5. I can read 5, so I can read 30, right? So these are indicators. And indicators you can do across every piece of software you have, all of your emails. You can create indicators by creating filters. You ever create a filter for a person online? You ever create a filter that says any emails that's from this person, put a star on it, right? Put a flag. Have you ever done anything like that? Okay, cool. These are great things. These are tools. The tools are called indicators, right? And so you want to try to create indicators for almost everything you're doing online, because that will help you save time. The third thing is this idea of writing and working how you think. This is important. This is about just becoming comfortable, right, with the way you think, the way you write, and getting it out first, right? So in creative writing workshops, we often tell people it's important to just get it out of yourself. It's important to just write it down. Because if you spend too much time thinking about it, you will, one, potentially overanalyze it, right? And or you will take 5 hours to do it, right? Now, how does this relate to the idea of strategizing top line? Because if I'm telling you to strategize, then I'm telling you to just get it out. What am I actually telling you? Well, what I'm telling you is to strategize top line about what you actually want to get out, right? So if you sit down and you say to yourself, I have a thought, and my thought is this. That's good. That's strategizing top line, right? That's saying to yourself, you want to strategize top line. If you say I have 8 hours, and you say I have a thought, and in 8 hours you need to get 20 thoughts out, that's even better, all right? And giving yourself top line tools to define that is important. Am I losing anybody or no? Are you with me so far? Yes? All right, cool. But this third bullet point is all about, once you've made a decision about what's important, once you've planned, just get it out. Just write it and get it out. Because often we don't do that because we think way too much. Once we plan, in our plan, we start replanning, right? And that's a whole other thing. So for me, I'm just telling you, just get it out first and then adjust. So if you're writing an email to somebody, write the email first, and then look at the email and say to yourself, does this email sound professional, right?
So pretty much like the rough draft and everything.
Exactly, rough draft is another way of thinking about it. If rough draft is going to help you remember it, then say to yourself, create rough drafts. My point is just get it out first. You want to get it out, and then you want to adjust it later, right? The same thing is true when you're looking for information online. If you're looking for something, if you're looking for Rolando Brown, just put Rolando Brown in Google, right? Rather than creating some devious, elaborate plan and find me out, just write my name in Google. You got it out. And then you can adjust later by looking at the information you got and saying, this is quality information, this is not quality information, right? Cool. The fourth thing is this idea, it takes under 2 minutes, you do it right away, right? This is a productivity thing that was popularized by a philosophy called getting things done. You can Google it later. But if it takes under 2 minutes, you do it right away instead of planning for it. And then my thing, which is super important, is spend at least 5 to 10 minutes exploring the help section. Always, right? Always. What does this do? 5 to 10 minutes exploring the help sections familiarizes yourself with all of the questions other people are asking, right? And therefore it can answer some of the questions you may have in the future. This is part of techno-organizing, and techno-organizing for me in my life is pretty important because it gives you the discipline, right, to be able to operate online.